Well, hello, and welcome back to Idle Kingdom Defense. So today, 24,030, and of course, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and you know it, I know it, make sure you ring that bell. So the question of the hour will always be, well, the question of the day, really, not hour. We don't make hourly videos yet. That'd be kind of difficult to make a video every hour. Especially in a game where stuff happens only once a day. But of course, the question of the video is, did we make any progress in Total War? And oh yeah, we have King's Row to do. And so let's go ahead and do Portal. Oh, this is easy Portal Day. Wolf Day is always an easy day. Go ahead and sweep this. Now at some point, we are going to push Portal again. I'm trying to remember which one was this, the bad one? Yes, Legion of Hatred is the bad one. So Weapon Scroll is going to be the worst day. Because Marion will only be doing 70% of her damage. So we'll come down here to Total War. And as you can see, yep, progress again. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that we beat 8-10? Or, sorry, 8-10. We beat 8-10 a while ago. 11-8. And so 2 stages to go in Lightning Hall. It was actually kind of a slow one. Took a half hour-ish. Over half hour. But Marion, I'll say, you'll see the video later. But if you don't watch it, Marion killed absolutely every enemy on the battlefield before killing the boss. But, you know, hey, at least we're making progress. And like I said, we're going to max out, not max out, but we're going to finish Lightning Hall 11-10, hopefully. Poison Cave 11-10. And then when all those are done, like I don't really see a purpose of really working on Flame Fortress 12-1 yet. Not without, like, doing as much Portal as we can, because I feel like there's some Portal levels, like, I don't know, we're at 140 here. I feel like we could hopefully finish off Portal. Now, obviously, this is going to be a bit of a chore to do 20 stages here. I don't know, let's just see how this goes. Let's just see how hard this is. And now, oh, okay, well, maybe it won't be too bad. The nice thing is, at least we get, like, a total health of everything on the battlefield. I probably should have done my artifacts first, but it's fine. At least everything clumped up real nice. You have to remember, Marion is doing only 70% of her damage. So we're going to kind of waste one of our Hero Seal Day tickets, but that's fine. And of course, with Portal, you actually do have to defeat every enemy on the board. It's not like Total War where there's only a boss. You have to actually get all of them. We're actually doing pretty good. And so I get a lot of questions like, why don't you use any warriors? It's because when I'm farming, I don't need warriors. You know, everybody can just run up to the castle. The castle's fine. It can take it. You know, it's the same thing. And you know, because if you... And it's the same thing, like, why do you use Ellie? There's heroes that do more damage than Ellie. If you haven't looked at the damage meter, if you haven't really looked at the damage meter, I'm going to help you out. Marion does almost 100% of my damage. Ellie is just on the team to have the slot filled. And because she doesn't do any crowd control. Because really, the only thing I care about at this stage of the game is when I'm farming, I don't want crowd control to split things up and mess up that. That's what I care about. Same reason I don't have warriors, because warriors just create clumps of you know, you'll have a warrior over here with a clump and somebody over here with a clump. No. I want everything in the front of the castle so Mary can just, you know, just do what she does and cleave it down. And so Ellie is just here because why not? And then I also get questions like, if you want Marion to do 100% of your damage, why don't you just remove all the other heroes? And again, the goal is not for Marion to just do 100% of the damage. The reality is Marion does so much damage that the only interesting thing about any of this is having Marion and Christian compete to see if Marion can get 100% and Christian can get 0% of the damage. You know, I mean, obviously, I could just remove Christian's artifacts and then there wouldn't be a thing at all. that's really not what we're going for here. So, I mean, those are some of the questions I get, and I always find it real confusing. Like, as soon as I, if I remove Christian from the battlefield, yes, Marion will always do 100%, but, like, how is that interesting? Like, the whole interesting thing is just, and part of the reason I do it is because a lot of people say, like, well, should I keep building up one artifact, or should I have 2 or 3 or 4? Like, and again, that was my mistake when I started. If you look back at my earlier episodes, I wanted everyone to be effective, so I build artifacts for everybody. And the reality is, artifacts are multiplicative, so even if you don't have the good awakenings, which, again, don't do this, but get the good awakenings. Even if you don't have good awakenings, the reality is the key and the necklace multiply off each other, right? That's X squared. And like Marion, the orb and the ring multiply off each other, again, X squared. If you throw crit damage in there, it becomes X cubed. And if you throw flat attack in there, it becomes X to the 4th. And that's why it's so important to actually get flat attack and crit damage on your artifacts when you start making a serious pair. Because that extra multiplier, like I said, like I found this out like way too late. That extra multiplier of flat attack, number one, what flat attack does is when you get enough of it, it makes the additional attack from runes and stuff like that less and less impactful. I mean, of course, it is impactful. It'll always be impactful. But you don't have to worry as much about trying to get everything you can out of the runes. Which is nice. Because the rune system, like... I mean, again, they could really easily fix the rune system. Like, the fix is so simple where, like, if you reroll max, it just says, oh, you got the max, and you can't reroll anymore. Like, it just maxes out the, the rune, and just prevents you from rerolling. If they did that, the system, while flawed, would be totally fine. Because you wouldn't have to pay attention to say, oh, I got a max roll, I better stop rerolling. You would just sit there and be like, all right, I'm going to put a brick on my rapid tap button, or, or if you're on mobile, you just keep mashing the button. And I'm just going to keep mashing the button until I get a max roll, and then move on. Would be perfectly fine. Perfectly acceptable. Honestly, any kind of check to say, hey, like, this is, like, honestly, they could just do it, like, honestly, even if it just put a pop-up, like, hey, you max rolled this, are you sure you want to reroll? Even just that would be enough, because then you don't have to pay attention to what you reroll, right? You can just slam it, and just let it go, and be like, okay, well, hopefully I get enough stuff, I can max roll everything. But what happens with flat attack is it kind of makes it less necessary to get everything out of that, because eventually you're going to have a delta of X number of flat attack awakenings. And once you get like a large amount of flat of attack on both of your artifacts, when I say flat attack, I want to be clear, it's plus X attack. Sophie has it on her ring. It's just plus X attack, but you can't just have that. You need to have crit damage as well. Crit damage is actually stronger. Like, I think it's better to have, like, I think it's something like like if you could control where your awakenings go, you'd want double, like a 2-to-1 crit damage to flat attack is like super optimal. But the reality is the reason you want it is because then 2 out of 4 of your awakenings actually increase your damage. I don't have it, and if you're in the Discord, that's why you can compare Thor and Marion, and that's why Thor is just leagues ahead. I mean, I'm sorry, Umbra's Thor, excuse me. Umbra's Thor is just leagues ahead of my Marion because of that. He's actually beaten, like, Flame Fortress, like, 12-3, I want to say. And again, Warriors are actually stronger in Total War and stronger overall, so I just made the worst choice. I basically based, somebody gave Pharaoh 2 1200 artifacts, and he ran a test of a bunch of different heroes. And Marion came out on top in terms of pushing stages. Well, that's great for pushing stages. It's not great for Total War. And I had my chance when Christian was at 600, 500. I had my chance right then and there to make the switch to a warrior. I just didn't realize at that time how much better warriors were. I mean, it's the same thing. Like when I made the switch, you know, because again, when you do your uncommon, because you really only should make 2 sets of artifacts. You want to make an uncommon 3, your uncommon 3. You want to just have crit damage on them. That's good enough, right? When you transition to probably a rare and a rare 1 uncommon 4, excuse me, uncommon 5. Hey, we did it. So now that wiped out my old one. Oh, that was 60 quad. So the one I did before this was 111 quadrillion, and this was 60 quadrillion. And look, Christian still contributed 1%, so Marion's obviously not doing enough damage. But there, 1 stage down. And that actually made the video pretty long. But, anyways, you would if you were doing it optimally, you would get to level 3 uncommon, 3-star uncommon, excuse me, artifacts, and just make sure they have crit damage. That'll be good enough. You're probably getting like 500. That should be good enough for you to clear 9-9 or 9-10, and you clear all 9-10. Then what you would do is then make a rare 1-star, and again, you'd want to do this on a warrior. No other way, no doing it on anything else, just do it on a warrior. You want to make a rare 1-star. And that should be the necklace, because as you can see, Flame Fortress is the easiest one to complete. Flame Fortress gives necklaces, so you would want to make sure it's a necklace. You would do a rare 1-star necklace, and then a 5-star, 5-star key. And then you would realize, yes, I'm going to struggle using these for a while, because it's going to be kind of hard to get all the awakenings for everything, right? You basically have to get to 2400 at that point, so you'd be working on getting that artifact up to at least 1000 before trying to push all the stages. No reason to push before then. You're at 17,000 now. So you'd be pushing that, and that's how you kind of do it. Like, if I could go back in time, that's what I would do. And even with me, like, it probably would have been beneficial to just re-roll Marion's artifact. Like, at least Marion does have defense on her artifacts. We're going to go to Archer Store, which has been purchased. Astrology. I'm going to go ahead and astrologize. And I could technically have given them, even when they were like 1500, to Sophia. And they wouldn't have been ideal, but they would at least have defense on. And of course, it's time to purchase some heroes. Oh, Lucas. But regardless, all that said, how are you doing today? I do hope everything is going well for you. Obviously, everything's great here. We just did a portal stage ad hoc. I mean, it was a little long, but, I figured that's going to be the harder one to push. But hey, at least we only have to do 19 more stages, right? I didn't even plan on that tonight. That was just like oh, how hard could this be? Well, it wasn't hard, but it did have enough life that it did take a while. Obviously, it didn't take a while comparatively, but, wasn't free to do. Let's go ahead and work on Marion's ring here. That is a lot of 2-star. That is a heck of a lot of 2-star. Could just be a lucky roll, though. Alright, so we have this. We're going to go ahead and dismantle. Oh, I should have just done this to get rid of you. Goodbye. Alright, now, we still need to sweep orbs. We didn't get any orbs last time. Will we get any this time? And again, we are doing weak sweeps. We got one. Okay, that's 3. That's 5. All right, that's good. So we have 5 already, so we just need one more. Oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. 1, 2, 3, 5. Well, do you want to guess what we should have done today when I sweeped? Right? And survey says crit damage. That's what you want to see. I'll give you 20 guesses. We can still get the ring to 45, 96, which is where we'll have to stop. It's not a huge deal. We should have definitely done material. We should have definitely done a restock today. I guess I just didn't check and was like, oh, well, I guess we're sweeping, I guess I sweep in Ice Behind 10 today and didn't check to see if that was the right move. Because I was like, well, I guess I unlocked it. I have to sweep it, right? Well, that was the wrong move. It'll be fine. I mean, the reality is what we really did. And we did actually, fortunately, get 2 awakenings worth of the orb, so that's nice. And survey says dodge, okay. On a fluke, we actually remember to get the orb, so we won't have an issue with, like, oh no, are we just gonna have to, I mean, worst case, we would just shard this whole thing if we couldn't use it, right? Just to make inventory space, we just shard the whole thing, but we're good. And survey says defense. Well, rats. Yeah, that worked out fine. I mean, it's not the greatest, right? But overall, this is fine. 45.97, 45.96. We really need to make sure we restock tomorrow, though. Or, well, I mean, even if we didn't, it would be a mess. Don't get me wrong, it'd be a mess, but we could just dismantle. And 199.51 million and 455,095 crit damage. So very nice, Marion. You hit that 455,000 crit damage finally. And, well, this is going to be a longer episode. Once again, as always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to say something in the comments. I do always look forward to your questions. And as always, thank you again, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.